Greetings and salutations out there, sports fans. Michael Shibley with you here for another edition of Yeas and Nays, and we are talking about my beloved Tennessee Vols and their 45-42 win over the Kentucky Wildcats. For everything we like about the game, we're going to give it a yay, and for everything we didn't like, we are going to give a nay. So let's break it all down right now. So, of course, the first thing we're going to look at for a yay is the result. Tennessee getting the win here. Again, 45-42 over the Wildcats. This was just great. It gives Tennessee now 5 wins on the season, so they've only got to win one more to get bowl eligible. And, of course, they've got Georgia next week, which I'm not too thrilled about watching that game. And then you've got South Alabama and Vanderbilt. So things are looking really good for Tennessee to get to a bowl game, which, hey, was going to be a real goal for this season, and they're looking well on their way for doing that. So yay there. What a crazy atmosphere it was there in Lexington. It was just another amazing atmosphere. College football in the SEC is always so much fun. A nay, of course, for Tennessee's defense. You look at this game, and you think about it, when you look at all of it, you look at the stats that Tennessee has. I've got them all down right here. The Kentucky Wildcats, 612 yards of offense, 99 plays. They were 12 of 17 on third down. A real nay on Tennessee's third down defense again, and also making quarterbacks look like Michael Vick, as always they seem to do on defense. But then you also look at a 46 minutes and 8-second time of possession. You give me all those stats plus 0 punts for Kentucky. You look at all that, you tell me Kentucky had that. I was like, how bad did they just drill Tennessee? Was it as bad as when they beat Tennessee last year in Neyland Stadium for the first time since 1984? And then you go, no, Tennessee won this game. It was amazing to see what happened, how Tennessee's offense, a yay, of course, for Hendon Hooker and his amazing performance. You've got him with 15 of 20, only 20 passes, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns. Of course, 2 of those were really early in the game. You've got a 75-yard touchdown pass to Peyton, and you've got a 72-yard pass to Velus Jones Jr., which was just, again, amazing moments there. I barely sat down, got comfortable watching the game on Twitch. You can watch along with me on my Twitch channel. Join me there. But it was so crazy the way it went. This was your standard matchup when you have two teams who play completely different styles of football. You have, if you use boxing or MMA, you had Kentucky with those quick jabs and just jabbing you to death, which can be, of course, very well done if done properly. And Tennessee was just throwing haymaker after haymaker with just big plays all over the field. And this time, the Haymakers won out. Tennessee was able, on defense, again, a nay overall for their defense, but a yay for making the big plays when they needed them. Tennessee had led the nation in tackles for loss going into this game. They only had 3, but they were all big fourth quarter sacks, truly when they needed it, which was, again, just an amazing atmosphere. And I was so proud of my Vols because, really, this is a game, when you look at the schedule and how things have gone so far this season, this was a game that Tennessee had lost in previous games a lot like this. You look at what happened with the Pittsburgh game. You also look what happened with Ole Miss, where Tennessee has a chance to get the win in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't get it done. And things were looking that way going into the end of the fourth quarter. A nay for Tennessee's decisions in the red zone there in the fourth quarter and the execution. Tennessee had gotten the ball down to, I believe, the 4-yard line with about 5.5 minutes left to go in the game. It was 2nd and goal from the 4, and they couldn't get it in the end zone. They stopped running the ball, which I thought was a little confusing because they had run the ball so well on that drive. So then you have some missed passes. Hooker gets sacked. You have penalties. Tennessee goes backward. And they're only up 3 at this point. And then they miss the field goal. So now a field goal still ties it instead of Kentucky just needing a touchdown to win. And I was so worried watching that because I kept thinking Kentucky's got over 4.5 minutes left in this game. They can take their time, just march it down the field because they had done that so much in this game. You see 612 yards of offense. They've been able to run the ball really well. Passing, for the most part, was solid for the Kentucky Wildcats. They were finding holes in Tennessee's zone. I was just worried he was going to get down to the end zone and Kentucky was going to have a shot there to get it in at the end. But Tennessee's defense finally stood tall really when they needed to. It was amazing, the sequence. A nay for the officials. For once, we had some calls go Tennessee's way. You would think some of these weird calls were eventually going to fall that way. But oh my goodness, I do feel bad for Kentucky when they had sacked. It was a third down. They had sacked Kentucky's quarterback, and it was a face mask. You could look at it. I even saw it when I was watching it on Twitch. And it's like, this is a face mask. This is going to be a penalty. And there were no flags on the field. It was amazing to see that. And then Mark Stoops, on top of that, gets a 15-yard penalty. A nay for the officiating, again, for making that decision. Because you have to realize, as the officials, you screwed up. You messed up. You missed that call. You have to almost eat the criticism you are going to get. Because unless Mark Stoops threatened to kill your family, which I doubt he did, you can't throw a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty on him there because you guys are the ones who made that bad call. By the way, note to Kentucky fans, notice how they had a bad call and bad things go against them. They didn't take 20 minutes throwing trash all over their field at Kroger Field there in Lexington. So just something, again, to consider overall going forward when we talk about fan behavior. However, Tennessee, for some reason, the secondary forgot what coverage they were in or something weird happened because Kentucky got 28 yards on that 4th and 24. And that play was one, watching it live, I kept saying, oh no, here is just where the game ends. This is it. They're gonna be t-shirts of 4th and 24 made all over Lexington. It's gonna sell out. It's gonna be something that Kentucky fans will continuously remind us of, just like how in 2011 they beat Tennessee for the first time since 1984 with a wide receiver at starting quarterback. Not that I still remember that game or mad about it at all, but Tennessee finally decided, instead of sitting back in coverage like they did on that 4th and 24, they finally just got after it. Why not? If they're going to get beat over the top, they get beat over the top on the passing plays. But they went after them, and 4 straight incomplete passes, and Tennessee holds on to win this game. A yay for the whole staff for finding a way to fight and win this game. A yay, of course, also for more free cookies, thanks to Alante Taylor getting a pick 6, which was one of the differences in this game. You look at that pick 6 in the third quarter, that one got Tennessee up 10, and things were really starting to move Tennessee's way. You were hoping that then they could kind of run through it, but Kentucky, to their credit, kept coming right back, and Tennessee had the chance for the kill shot and couldn't get it done. But also a yay for Tennessee at the end of the first half when there was like 30-some seconds left and Tennessee ran. It was just an amazing, I think, 16-second drive. Tennessee had 3 passes, I think, to Cedric Tillman, and Connor McGrath was able to make the field goal and put Tennessee up 3, which I thought was great because Kentucky was going to get the ball back to start the second half. The score was tied. Tennessee now up 3. Yeah, Kentucky goes right out and scores, but Tennessee was able to go back the other way and score. It was just that back and forth. I didn't think Kentucky was going to be able to compete with Tennessee in a track meet like this, but their offense just had themselves a day. Tennessee was able to just make a few more plays and get this win and get Tennessee to 5 wins. Again, they just need 1 more for bowl eligibility. You look at everything that this season, and of course we'll talk more about this when the season is over, but you see where we were at the beginning of 2020. Jeremy Pruitt fired. So many players either left for the NFL or the transfer portal, and the roster, of course, has been depleted. We've talked so much about this on this channel, but I love what Coach Heupel and his staff have been able to do and get these guys to buy into this system for this season. They've been able to keep in it. One thing, again, I've said this all season long. Tennessee's not going to win all these games. I've been saying that from the get-go, but they haven't been boring at all, which I give, again, a yay to Coach Heupel, easy for me to say, and his staff. I'm just so hyped about how this has gone. Again, I don't remember the last time Tennessee beat a top 20 opponent on the road. And yes, people will keep saying, I'm sure I'll hear it in the comments section, that yes, it was still Kentucky. This was a good Kentucky team who had won some close games early in the season. They had a 7-game home winning streak. Tennessee was able to go into Lexington and do what Florida and LSU were not able to do, and that is beat Kentucky. So you look at all of that, and you'll see where the season ends up. But I'm so proud of this bunch for continuing to fight despite all the adversity. And again, keep throwing those haymakers, Tennessee, because it seems to be working for you. We will see how that all translates next week as #1 Georgia comes to Neyland Stadium. But for this week, it has been marvelous. Again, you guys can check it out and watch along with me on Twitch at Shibbles and Bits, just like the YouTube page. And please, if you've enjoyed all this, give it a yay. Give it a thumbs up. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comment section below. And of course, give us a subscription. I would love for you guys to hang out with me as we go through all this, and of course all the Twitch play-alongs that we do with Mrs. Shibbles as well when we play all the different video games we do. And you can also, of course, follow me on Twitter, Michael_Shibley. But until next time, everybody, too sweet, go Vols, love ya, see you next time.